Welcome to the Spotlight with Stan Matthews. The Spotlight is a weekly digital show that is produced and shared in Atlanta, in the Atlanta area, in the Washington, D.C. area, in the greater Philadelphia area, and also in the greater New York, New Jersey area. What the Spotlight does is it shines the spotlight on successful entrepreneurs, professionals, nonprofit leaders, and creative artists in urban communities with more than 250,000 consumers in those communities. Why does the Spotlight do that? Because between New York City and Atlanta, Georgia, in 2019, urban consumers spent $1.5 trillion in income. The opportunity is that they only spent 2% of that sum with urban providers. So the goal of the Spotlight is to make urban consumers aware that there are excellent urban providers right in their community that could satisfy their product or service need, to encourage them to do business with them, and then to say to the consumers and the providers, we should be spending at least 20% of our disposable income with providers in our community. Why? Because spending is investing. There is a reason why people from Asia, there is a reason why people from Eastern Europe and other places in the world open their businesses in urban communities. That's because they are aware that in urban communities we spend lots and lots and lots of money. I have no problem with other people opening up businesses in our community. I'm just suggesting that those who live in the community, work in the community, raise a family in the community, have a vested interest in increasing the value of property and increasing the quality of life for everyone in the community. So that is why the Spotlight does what it does. Now, we have this evening two entrepreneurs that you will meet. One who has a company that is a resource that you need to be aware of here in the DMV area. If you are starting a business or if you are running a recently started business, you need wisdom, you need understanding, you need skills so that you're more successful at what you're doing. You will hear from her momentarily. The other is a 40-year veteran of business here in the DMV area, and he will be talking about health. Right now, in the presidential Democratic primary campaign, there is much talk about different health care proposals, right? So they can't quite agree on what it's going to cost, but they are at least debating the issue about whether or not we should have Medicare for all, Medicaid for those who want it, and Medicare Light. So we are hearing all kinds of proposals about health care. Well, our good friend and colleague is going to talk to us about the system that's currently in place, which has been under attack since it was created, known as Obamacare, but formerly known as the Affordable Care Act. And he is an expert at it, right? And he always reminds us that you cannot have health, you cannot have wealth without good health. So, you could have a great business, great concept, but guess what? You've got to have your health for that to work out for you. So I'm very excited about this evening's Spotlight program, and I want to just reflect basically on the news that is fit for us and helpful to us. You are obviously anticipating tonight's Democratic debate. And the reason why you are anticipating it is because in South Carolina on Saturday of this week, for the first time in this cycle's Democratic primary, African Americans who make up more than 60% of the Democratic electorate in South Carolina will share with America what our preferences are. I just want to share this thought with you. South Carolina seems to be the touchstone from which presidents are elected. This is not my opinion, this is history. We knew that William Jefferson Clinton was going to be president of the United States when he overwhelmingly won South Carolina. We knew that George Bush was going to be president when he soundly defeated John McCain in South Carolina. We knew Barack Obama was going to be president when Oprah Winfrey and others took him by the hand into South Carolina, held a rally for 35,000 people in Spartanburg, and made us believe that this young man with the funny name and the brilliant, beautiful wife was a viable candidate. And after he won South Carolina, he was on his way. Well, what this means is that this coming Saturday, we may decide who the next president of the United States is, but at minimum, give someone enough momentum to go forward from there and into Super Tuesday. What is important about this is that you count. You are the primary person. You must make your vote count. We don't have to go into the history of all those who have sacrificed for this moment, but I want us to take it seriously because we matter. More so in this electoral cycle now than ever, okay? So my advice to our brothers and sisters in South Carolina, get out there on Saturday and make your interest known with your vote. The other point that I want to share this evening is that you should look at your decision from a position of principle and not from a position of people. People will come and go, principles will endure. And so you have to vote your interests and align it with your principles, right? Forget about who the person is. The one who best articulates your interest, pull the lever for that person. And that's all I'm going to say on that matter. There are 4 principles on which the spotlight with Stan Matthews rests and will always rest, because you've got to have those values, those principles that endure. The first is divine alignment. My view is that you cannot be successful in anything until you are aligned with your divine creator, the one who gave you the breath of life. And then after you become divinely aligned, it naturally follows that you become divinely empowered, right? The Bible says in the book of Timothy, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind, right? So divinely aligned means you become divinely empowered. And then you have to inspire and uplift others. And here we hear the voice of our poet laureate, the one and only Maya Angelou, saying to us, people may forget what you said. They may even forget what you did, but they will never ever forget how you made them feel, right? So make someone else feel like the king or the queen that she or he is, right? Your candle loses nothing when it lights another. So after you become divinely aligned, empowered, and you're uplifting others, it naturally follows that you become divinely enriched. Over 27 times in the Bible, the word prosperity is used. Here are 3 of my favorites. Jesus speaking, I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Second, he or she will be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, whose leaf will not wither, and everything they do will prosper. My favorite, John 2 and 3. Beloved, I pray that you prosper in all things, even as your soul prospers, right? And so these come from our most closely held spiritual book, telling us that God's greatest desire for us is that we prosper. And we certainly have all the wealth that we need, but that wealth is unorganized. So those are our principles. That's the reason why the spotlight exists. And we are more than happy, in fact, overjoyed to share with you the guests that we have this evening, so that we are making you aware that in urban America, there are fantastically gifted, successful providers that are here to help you create and manifest your dream. My first guest tonight is the CEO of the Diamond Lab Academy. I want her to introduce herself and tell us a little bit more about her business. Welcome.
Thank you.
Your name is and the name of
Charity.
your business.
Charity Barrett, and the Diamond Lab is the business, and the Academy is our latest feature.
Mhm. Welcome, Charity. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Tell me, what is the unique value of the Diamond Lab and the Academy to consumers?
Well, I think that the team at the Diamond Lab, we've figured out, we've cracked the code on how to offer affordable, high quality courses and mentorship programs. And we figured out how to do it with one-stop shopping, so that entrepreneurs can come to one platform and get most of what they like, want, and need.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How long are the courses?
Well, the courses, that's the good part. There is such a variety. We're basically expanding our course catalog, and so you can maybe take a mini course that might be a 90-minute video.
Mhm.
It may be $9.99, $9.99, or you may take maybe a longer course that may span 6 months.
Mhm.
That one may be a couple of $100. So it really just depends on the course. But we're constantly collaborating with other instructors and mentors so that they can bring their expertise to the Diamond Lab.
Now, give us a little bit more about your vision for the Diamond Lab. Obviously, you had an interest in serving entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So, what was your thinking in creating?
Well, I entered into entrepreneurship formally when I was 25 years old, back in 2005. And, it's been about 14 years, and it's been one heck of a journey. And I think about all of the people who are aspiring to start their own businesses, and it's very challenging. So I think about, what would have helped me? What would have saved me some hardship and struggling if I had had it back when I was starting? And I think mentorship, education that's affordable would have been very helpful. And now, because I like to lead others to entrepreneurship, I think that, I want to provide what it is that would have been helpful to me. So I'm trying, because, a lot of people, they start businesses, but oftentimes they don't last 5 years. So I'm trying to figure out, because I've been able to survive 14 years now in service-based industries in middle to low income areas. So I really feel like if, people have that extra help that they need, it's going to really help them to be able to get past that 5-year mark and stand the test of time, instead of, winging it and kind of feeling like they're on their own and they don't really know what to do.
Yeah, that knowledge deficit can be a significant factor in whether you make it or not, that's for sure. And it seems to me you've had the perfect tool to help people to bridge that knowledge gap. It's often said, folks, that knowledge is of two types, that which you know or that which you know where to find. So if you're an entrepreneur, the Diamond Lab Academy is the place to find what you need to bring you beyond that place where you are just making it or barely surviving to that place where you're thriving, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
who are just the right clients, the right users of the Diamond Lab Academy? Who are the people that you're looking for that you think you could best help?
The Diamond Lab is really for any aspiring entrepreneur or anyone who's actually been in business and they feel like they're experiencing barriers or blocks and they want to be able to get to the next level. So even if you're established in business and you're doing fairly well, but you're like, you know what, I think there's more. We can help people to get over that hump and try to find out what more do you need to do to get over this stage. Because that's kind of what happened with me. I felt like I was doing well, but I was like, you know what, I really feel like there's something missing. I see other people who have reached a certain level. What is it that they're doing differently? Because you don't want to burn out, and that's the problem. So what is it that they're doing that I can do so that I can get to the next level, create and establish a legacy?
Want to
for my
attract the
family?
great clients and customers.
And that's what we want the Diamond Lab to be for other people. So as long as you're an entrepreneur, or you want to be
You
an
need to
entrepreneur, you're looking to get to the next level, you're willing to do the work, you're willing to be a lifelong learner, those are the ideal customers for the Diamond Lab.
I got it. Just curious, why did you use the word diamond in the title?
Oh yeah, you're one of the first people to actually ask, and I thought I was so clever when me and my best friend came up with this. So you think about naturally occurring diamonds. They're not necessarily rare, but the process through which they go through to actually be found and to become this beautiful, gem, it's very costly, and a lot of people, they know that it takes a lot of work. So now you have lab cultivated diamonds, and that way you can actually, as long as you have the proper ingredients and materials, you can actually create lab cultivated diamonds that end up being just as beautiful, where you can't tell the difference if they were naturally occurring. But you do need the proper ingredients, and you also have to go through a rigorous process with tons of pressure and heat to get this brilliant diamond.
So folks, if you go to the Diamond Lab Academy, right, they can give you the ingredients you need for success, but there will be some pressure and there will be some heat.
Yes, I feel like I have to be honest about that. I'm sorry I don't have better news, but yes, you are going to have to do some work if you want to succeed.
That's right, that's right. And that's a good thing.
Yep.
That's a good thing, because now you've got a sense of achievement. Things that come easy, I don't think are appreciated as much as things where there's real effort that has to be invested to get there. A good friend of mine, Yvette Brown, I know that you are taking the bar exam today. Inside sources told me. So when you see this broadcast, know that I'm declaring already that you are now a licensed attorney and will be soon getting the good news, right? The way that my mind is programmed, I always expect that which I'm going for. I always am fascinated by people who say they are believers in a creator, Doc, and then when the creator gives them what they want, they say, oh my God, I'm so surprised, how did this happen? Is that not what you were praying for? And so, the way my mind works, I celebrate it in advance because I have faith in him and that which he promised. You've often heard our grandmother say, he is not a man that he should lie, for his every word is truth and power, right? So Yvette, I'm celebrating in advance for you, your family, your husband Sean, and the rest of you. You have worked hard. You have taken care of your family. You have gone to law school at night. You deserve this, my sister, and I applaud you. And I applaud,
I love that.
and I applaud my guest for creating the Diamond Lab Academy. Tell me, Charity, how long are the courses? How long do they have to be? Or does it vary based upon what they want to learn?
It varies based on what they want to learn. Now we have courses where it's like it's a definite end date, but we also have ongoing mentorship programs, and we actually have a promotion called the $12 mentorship program, which means that just for $12 you can actually get quality mentorship to help you grow your business. You don't have to worry about high ticket, coaching and that type of thing. And the other thing is you don't have to worry about this guru approach to learning how to do business, because we at the Diamond Lab feel like it takes a village to start and grow a business.
No question about it. So I want you to replay that again. So for $12,
Yes, for
I want you to say that again.
Yes, $12 a month. That means for less than the cost of your Netflix membership. Yes, right. 2 cups of Starbucks coffee. I have made sure to make it affordable. And I tell you, a lot of colleagues and people that I'm in the industry with, they look at me like I'm crazy. How are you going to provide high quality? How are you going to cover marketing expenses? How are you going to do all of this for just $12 a month? And I'm like, just watch me work.
That's right. That's right. It's like people ask the people at Heinz Ketchup, what's in the ingredients, and Mr. Heinz said, "Well, I would tell you that, but I would have to kill you."
Yeah.
Right? And so you don't have to give away the secret sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else in this room knows about secret sauce, and people, my chef, my beloved chef over there, people are always wanting to know what's in her food, right? And so that's something that you have to take to your grave. Here's the question I want to ask you. What are some of the courses that you offer that are in demand right now? Like, give me 3 of the hot professions, 3 of the hot businesses that the Diamond Lab Academy teaches.
Sure. Well, I am actually personally teaching a course on the Airbnb Startup Essentials. That course is a 4-week course, and it teaches people how to leverage their property, whether they own it or not, to use it for short-term rentals. And I say Airbnb, but there are actually other booking platforms people can use. So I teach people the essential steps to starting that, to be able to get some additional cash flow.
And do it right out of their home?
They can do it right out of their home. They can do it out of an apartment. Now, of course, it depends on your local jurisdiction, depending on if there are any restrictions. But overall, yes, you can do it out of a home that you're renting. You can do it out of the home that you live in. You can do it out of a secondary property. The sky's the limit, and you don't have to live in a tourist area. So I debunk a lot of the myths that people have about, well, why would anybody want to come stay in my place? Well, there's a local market of people that are looking for affordable housing. So that's one of the courses. And another one, because I like to focus on self-care also, we have a very powerful lady named Laverne Henderson, and she is a board-certified hypnotist. And she is offering a course, a 4-week course called Discover Hypnosis. And that's to educate people on what hypnosis really is, which is mostly just a deep meditative state. It's not about mind control or anything like that, but it's helping to get past subconscious blocks that some people have. So after they go through this 4-week course, then they're eligible to move on to her monthly program, where they continue to incorporate hypnotherapy into their self-care routine, right along with yoga, meditation, and those type of things. Another course, we have the fabulous Abby Levine, bringing her very popular principles of divine money manifesting. It's all about mindset. It's all about the universal laws of attraction, and just basically really getting your thinking in a way where you understand, wealth is for you, and it's all in how you think about it. So we have this variety, that we're offering so you can come to the Diamond Lab and eventually find almost anything that can be of assistance to an entrepreneur. It can be, for self-care, mindset, and then just basic practical steps to how to start a business.
I would hate to make a comparison between what you would get at, let's say, Georgetown Business School for what you're offering in the Diamond Lab Academy. I mean, there would be a lot more zeros at the end.
Oh, of course.
If you wanted to get it there, or American University, or UC. So this is a fantastic resource that you've created. How do people get in contact with you so they can avail themselves of all that you're offering at the Diamond Lab Academy?
Okay, well, you can visit our website at www.thediamondlab.org. You also can email, which is info@thediamondlab.org, and just check it out. We're expanding rapidly, and we're also bringing products and services to our platform in addition to courses and mentorship. So we have a little something for everyone, even an affiliate program.
Right. Here's why this is so timely and why it's so necessary. In 1972, roughly 2/3 of working age adults in the United States of America were W-2 employees at some company. In 2019, 62% of the 161 million people who go to work every day in the United States of America are now 1099. Whether you want to accept it or not, as a 1099, you no longer work for Verizon. You no longer work for Prudential. You no longer work for JP Morgan Chase. You no longer work for Wells Fargo or Bank of America. You no longer work for General Electric as an employee. If no taxes are coming out of your check, you are an independent contractor. And so guess what? You are by definition an entrepreneur, even if you've been there for 25 years. And so you better learn how to embrace being entrepreneur, because you are one now. There's still people trapped, Gene, in this mindset that they still work for AT&T. You still do work for AT&T, but you are now an independent contractor slash entrepreneur, and you've got to know how to get your own health care now, set up your own pension and savings for retirement, or what I call moving from employment to enjoyment, right? And so you've got to do all that for yourself now, and so you need a resource like the Diamond Lab Academy. I want to thank Charity for coming and sharing with us in the spotlight this evening, and she just underscores the point. We have everything we need in urban communities to be an amazing success. What we have got to do is we have got to take the resources that we have and share them with each other more willingly. Again, let me repeat the numbers. Nationally, we spent 1.4 trillion. From New York City to Atlanta, we spent 303 billion. The opportunity is to go from 2% that we spent with providers in our own community to 20%. 20% of 303 billion is $60.5 billion. Think about what healthcare, quality housing, employment for our young men, affordable housing, quality food. Think about what our own banking system would look like if we poured $60.5 billion of our own capital into it, right? And so I just ask you to do this test. Ask some of the immigrants that are coming into urban communities and opening restaurants and other businesses and doing well, right? Convenience stores like Quick Check and others, why they are coming into urban communities if we didn't have any resources. It's not intelligent to set up a business in a community where you can't make any money. So that tells you on its face that there's plenty of money in urban America, right? And so people are coming from all over the world. So we need to take advantage of resources like the Diamond Lab and the Diamond Lab Academy so that we could take advantage of some of these opportunities ourselves. By the year 2040 in the United States of America, the $19 trillion economy would have grown to about $25 trillion economy, and you will no longer be a third of that, you will be a fourth of that. So if you take $25 trillion, right, and a third of that is somewhere around $8 trillion is what you will be spending in America. So you need to have a plan going forward of how we can come together, right? The Kwanzaa principle says that we should come together, pool our resources together collectively so that we can build a better and higher quality of life in our own community. Again, thank you so much, Charity, for being with me tonight.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
you coming. All right. Doctor, you want to cut? 5701 and stop trying so hard to fit in when you were born to stand out. Call us now.
Hi, I'm Rex Moore with the Motley Fool, and I've been to a
Want to attract the great clients and customers you need to prosper and succeed? Answer. Step into the spotlight with Stan Matthews and share your products and services with urban consumers from New York City to the Atlanta area who have more than $300 billion in annual purchasing power. Book your spotlight interview right now and let us help you acquire the new clients and customers you need to prosper and succeed. Call us at 732-357-5701 and stop trying so hard to fit in when you were born to stand out. Call us now.
give me 45 seconds and I'll show you how buying businesses is the best way for you to build your wealth and live a life
Want to
of
attract the
freedom.
great clients and
It's
customers
much
you
better
need
than
to
all the
prosper and
internet
succeed. I know you don't go anywhere without that tablet.
Oh yeah, yeah. Pretty cool.
Welcome back to the Spotlight with Stan Matthews. We thank you for joining us this evening. And I just want to share with all of our friends, our colleagues, our clients, my gratitude for you making the Spotlight your companion, for you to find out and become aware of who the entrepreneurs, professionals, creative artists, and nonprofit leaders in your community are that can help you move from concept and theory to reality. Among those who are supporters of the Spotlight with Stan Matthews, I want to say a special thanks to those who have become supporters of the broadcast this past week. So I want to say thank you to Greg Riley in Virginia. I want to say thank you to Greg Johnson, attorney at law in New Jersey. I want to say thank you to Tony Moore, attorney at law at Legally Chic in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I want to say thank you to Otis Brown in Stone Mountain, Georgia. I want to say thank you to Jose Feliciano in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I want to say thank you to Tyrone Scotty Howard in Atlanta, Georgia. And I could go on and on and on, but you decided that you wanted to support this information and this platform, and I want you to know how important you are to the well-being of the Spotlight and our ability to continue to share with you those influencers, those entrepreneurs in your community who are making a difference. They're not making noise, they're making a difference. You heard from Charity Barrett, my last guest. She has created a resource that is affordable, that is on point, that is potentially the gap filler between you and the success that you deserve. And she has done so without laying on the kind of debt that many of you graduated from college very recently or a little while ago. It is estimated that in the United States of America now, everyone graduates with at least $55,000 in student loan debt. That is the reason why parents, so many of you, have one or two children back in their room or in the basement or in the attic, because they got to pay that student loan and they can't pay $1,200 to $1,800 in rent on their own. So they got to be there with you because they are saddled with that debt. So that resource that sister has created can be a real difference maker. Now, having said that, there has been a difference maker in our community here in the DMV area for a generation. A generation, the Bible tells us, is 40 years. Well, this particular executive has labored in our community for more than 40 years. He is an expert at health and understanding how you can put in place those health services your family needs. And he's passionate about it and has taught me that most of the bankruptcies of families in the United States of America, the number one reason for a family going bankrupt, Doc, is a health crisis. Mm-hmm. I can tell you in my own household, we recently got some bills from Capital Health Center for a person in my household that is off the charts, right? For very simple things, I would think that the services we received that we were charged, let's just say handsomely, right? So my guest for the second half of the Spotlight tonight is Mr. Eugene Poole, the CEO of Aligned Benefits Group. Welcome, Gene. It's good. Always good to see you again.
Good to see you again, Stan.
So, Gene, I won't steal your thunder. Tell us what your career as a health executive has been and what it is today. I know that your desire is that our community avail themselves of the best that healthcare has to offer, and you have some very unique ways in which they can do that.
Absolutely. Well, you know, one of the things that I saw in our community is that if we get sick, the bills are so voluminous, we don't know where to go or where to hide. Most people live quiet lives of desperation, and they don't want anyone else to know that they're really struggling. And because of that silence, we suffer. Mm-hmm. And the reason I know that is because I have been in the healthcare industry and I know how the pricing structure is set up. Mm-hmm. If you don't understand how the pricing structure is set up, you really don't understand how to play the game, as they say. Mm-hmm. Let me give you an example. You mentioned some bills earlier. You know, insurance companies, health insurance companies, one of the things that they do, in fact, health insurance with one of the Blues, which is a nonprofit organization, started out in Dallas, Texas with school teachers during the Depression. Mm-hmm. And what happened was the teachers decided that, you know, if they got sick, they would not be able to pay the hospital bill on their teacher salary. So they went to the hospital at Baylor University in Dallas, Texas, mm-hmm. and they asked the hospital administrator, what could you do for us when we get sick? So he thought about it and said, I tell you what, will you teachers be willing to pool your money and pay us every month 50 cents? That was the first premium, 50 cents per teacher per month.
Wow.
And they agreed to do that. And he said, for the 50 cents that each of you pay every month without fail, mm-hmm. if you get sick, we will cover you in the hospitals for up to 40 days with mm-hmm. no money out of pocket.
Wow, 50 cents.
So that pooling concept of money, mm-hmm. where we talk about little becomes much, mm-hmm. for the little that they participated in, provided the funding for when the 1 or 2 or 20% of the people got sick, the funding was there to pay for it. That program was so successful, that was the start of Blue Cross. That's how Blue Cross started out in the United States. So the term Blue Cross means hospitalization, when you're admitted into the hospital. So since the hospitals were doing so well with the process, started out in Dallas, Texas, the doctors who were in private practice said, hey, why don't we do something like that? Where we get the guaranteed income, chase people down for the money, And at the time, America, we were pretty much an agrarian society in the 1920s. So they didn't necessarily want to barter cows and chickens anymore. They wanted cash. So they formed Blue Shield. So Blue Shield means private doctors in private practice, and Blue Cross means hospitalization. Now that process and that model was so successful. You have organizations like Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser's the hospitals and Permanente are the doctors. Medicare Part A is for hospitalization, Medicare Part B is for the doctors. Everybody follows that pattern. Now, what does that pattern really do for you and I? What it really does is says this. If you are a member of Costco, and people join Costco, why do they join Costco? They want a better price, right? All right, so what happens is that Costco goes out and negotiates with all these vendors and say, listen, if you package it bigger, we'll sell more, but the per unit cost is actually lower. And how we're going to make our money is we're going to make our money on the memberships. So that's how they make their money is they get the membership going, but they're really volume purchase at a discount.
That's right.
Well, health insurance works the same way. What health insurance does, it goes to a doctor in the area and says, hey doc, look, we have all these patients here, and we can bring you so many thousands of patients if you give us a better price. But it's even more clever than that. What they do is that the doctors are part of the American Medical Association, and the American Medical Association consists of all these medical societies around here. You got the Prince George's County Medical Society, the Washington, D.C. County Medical Society, Alexandria, Fairfax Medical Societies, and they determine what is a reasonable payment for a doctor who has so many years of training, living in Fairfax County in this zip code. What does their malpractice cost them? What does the office rent cost? What's the average salary for the employees? And that's how they determine what's reasonable and customary based on the geography, the zip code, the area, and the cost in the area. We as consumers don't know what the costs are. We have no idea what they are. In fact, healthcare is one of the few things that you purchase in this country, you have no idea what you're paying for. You have no clue. You go and you hope your insurance company's going to cover it, but you really don't have a good handle on it. So what happens is that these organizations figured out what was reasonable and customary. And so when you go to a hospital or doctor, if that hospital or doctor is participating with the insurance company, it means that they have a finite expense that the doctor can charge. Okay? And they're not allowed to do what is known as balanced billing. So in other words, if they want to get an appendectomy done and they want to charge $3,000, if the insurer says the going rate is $1,000, then the doctor cannot charge you the other $2,000.
Yeah.
He's done with that because he signed an agreement called the hold harms agreement that we will not hold the patient responsible
For the remainder.
Right. So the moral of that story is that before you pay your bill, make sure you get the explanation of benefits from the insurance carrier first, and they will tell you what they paid, who they paid, how they paid, and what your responsibility is.
Thank you so much, Gene. Gene, the Affordable Care Act had an enrollment period that ended a short while ago.
Yes.
If you have not availed yourself of the Affordable Care Act as your source for health care, are there alternatives here in the DMV area for getting care for your family?
Yes. Well, first of all, I'll give you some alternatives that really apply nationwide. One is if you lose your job and you lose health care, that's called a qualifying event. So you can apply for care because of that. So even though you're not in the open enrollment period from November 1 to December 15, if you have a qualifying event like losing a job, pregnancy, things like that, those create qualifying events because our society wants to make sure that you can get covered. And we want to make sure that we protect our babies. So that's why pregnancy is a big qualifier for most people coast to coast. But in Maryland, there's a particular new plan that they came out with, and that is for those people who did not get their coverage between November 1 and December 15th of last year, the controller of Maryland has put together a very broad program that says if you file your taxes and you still need coverage because you missed the open enrollment period, when you file your taxes, they're going to give you up to 35 days when they send you a letter to get in that open enrollment period again.
All right.
Right now, as far as I know, it's only in the state of Maryland. It's brand new. It just started. So for this tax season. So what happens is that they look at that, and when we talk about the word affordable, how do we know, what do they mean by affordable? How do they know what's affordable? Well, if you buy a house, how a bank qualifies you, this says is that, if your income is X, that the principal, interest, taxes, insurance on your house cannot exceed 25 to 28% of your monthly gross income.
That's right.
In the affordable health care, what they're saying is that the premiums cannot exceed more than 9.5% of your adjusted gross income. That's what they mean by affordable. If it does exceed 9.5% of your adjusted gross income, then it's deemed unaffordable. So that's what they mean by affordable.
Got it.
And what the employers are supposed to do is that they're supposed to have a program for you so that it stays within those tolerances, those financial tolerances that make it affordable for you.
That is important for you at home. This is where you have a homework assignment, right? I'm going to ask Gene to give his contact information very shortly. And if you want to know about anything that has to do with the Affordable Care Act, or if you've had a qualifying event, or about this new program in Maryland that you can take advantage of, I want you to get in contact with him. Again, we don't want you going bankrupt. We don't want you stressing out over it. There are answers, there are alternatives, and there are options out there that you can take advantage of to get yourself the care that you need to get your health and your well-being back. Gene, how can they get in contact with you to get the information that you've shared today?
Okay, so they can get in touch with me on my cell at 301-318-8791 for those who like to text. But the office number, the landline number, is 301-925-2050. The website is www.aligned, that's one L, ALIGNED, benefits with an S group.com. And of course, if you go on the website or if you give me a call, we'll be happy to talk with you at any time. We tend to work after hours as well. We're not just 9 to 5. Oftentimes I'm up to 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, simply because people have to get their job done during the day, and often I'll see them at night. So over the phones, it's a WebEx session, just as we're doing broadcasting today. I use the computer WebEx system, so I don't have to necessarily physically go to everybody, and that keeps my costs down.
Absolutely. I tell people the same thing. We're a task-based organization. When we get the task done, that's when the day is done. I know our previous guest burns the oil. I know Charity is up at all kinds of hours getting it done at the Diamond Lab Academy. So that's why I say we're a task-based organization. When the task is done, that's when our day is over. You need to be focused on your health. One of the reasons why I asked Gene to come in from time to time and keep us updated on all of the cutting edge information about our health is because I am 55 years old. This past year, 3 of my colleagues that I went to grammar school with passed away of heart attacks, right? And so there is something going on where we don't make it to our 56, 57, 58, 59, 60th birthday, right? It's something happening. We're not taking care of ourselves, men. I've been recently asked to do a major health symposium in June of this year in the greater Philadelphia area around black men's health. We have got to focus on our health. We've got to eat better. We've got to be more conscious about keeping stress levels lower, right? Stress is the silent killer. And so we've got to take a look at why is this phenomenon of us, going to sleep forever and we haven't seen a 60th birthday. Years ago, Minister Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam contended that black men should not have Social Security taxes withdrawn from their paychecks. And his reason was quite reasonable. He said, black men pay into the system but rarely ever live to collect. It was a terrible thought, but show me the evidence of You know, you got to make it to 62 and a half, right, Gene?
Yep.
So, brothers, we've got to take care of our health. Our children, our significant other, our families are depending on us. You've got to take care of yourself, right? And because we're in the DMV area, I want to highlight the fact that we broadcast right here from ELife Media, which is a vegan restaurant. All the food is plant-based. The good stuff for you, and even their desserts are plant-based, because Dr. Yehuda Ben Baruch is like, you got to eat to live, right? He's not trying to make you put some stuff in your mouth that's going to take you out. He's putting some stuff in your mouth that's going to lift you up, right? So you got to come here to 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights and eat to live, right? We want to grow old and gray together. You want to see your grandchildren and your children's children. In my own life, I know that friends of mine have left the earthly plane far too early. Okay? Just two thoughts I want to leave you with this evening. There are two types of people in the world. Dreamers like Charity, and certainly like Gene, certainly like Dr. Baruch here at ELife and Everlasting Life Restaurant, and dream killers. Those people who the no, the can't, or the won't is coming out of their mouth long before you even finish sharing with them your big idea. Dreamers and dream killers. My advice, embrace the first, run like heck from the second. Second point. There are 7.5 billion people on the planet, but God made each one of us very individual and very unique. So you are here on purpose. The Creator decided that you would be here. You have a special gift to offer on this earthly plane. So stop trying so hard to fit in. You were born to stand out. He broke the mold when He made you. Get in alignment with that special gift, that special purpose. And the Bible says your gift will make room for you. Everybody on this earth is waiting for you. People in this area are waiting for you. People in your own family are waiting for you to behave in alignment with your divine purpose, your best self. So go ahead and live your best life. And when you do that, if you would like to be spotlighted in the spotlight with Stan Matthews, call me at 732-357-5701. I will be glad to share your success story with all of the entrepreneurs, all of the professionals, all of the creative artists, and all of the nonprofit executives that I know, because you matter. You're special, born great, and suited for success. For Stan Matthews and the Spotlight, I want to say thank you to Mr. Eugene Poole, CEO of Aligned Benefits Group, and also Ms. Charity Barrett of the Diamond Lab and the Diamond Lab Academy. Good night, and God bless. Thank you so much, guys. Want to attract the great clients and customers you need to prosper and succeed? Answer. Step into the spotlight with Stan Matthews and share your products and services with urban consumers from New York City to the Atlanta area who have more than $300 billion in annual purchasing power. Book your spotlight interview right now and let us help you acquire the new clients and customers you need to prosper and succeed. Call us at 732-357-5701 and stop trying so hard to fit in when you were born to stand out. Call us now.